Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and this is Cream the cat. Say hello, Cream. Yeah, he's just laying there. He took out Bumblebee. We are here to talk to you today about Transformers Legacy Jhiaxus. That is Jhiaxus. I know, it's such a weird name, but it stands for Jhiaxus because the guys that created the G2 comic book assumed that the G2 comic book would be canceled, and they assumed correctly, so they really didn't give it their all. They just kind of went meh. And yeah, so Jhiaxus here is actually the leader of the Decepticons in the G2 universe, and this is actually my first G2 Decepticon ever. I got my first G2 character ever with Optimus Prime, G2 Optimus Prime. Maybe I've gotten another G2 character. I did get another G2 character. Sandstorm. G2 Sandstorm. Because I wanted that mold. And we totally are going to do a video on that. But I wanted to talk about Jhiaxus because Jhiaxus is actually really cool. And Jhiaxus is coming to a store near you. So we discussed Jhiaxus's height in the short video that I just did. And before we really get involved in this, if you would like to help me and Cream out, please hit that share and subscribe buttons. Also, if you're financially capable or if you know anybody who, you can share it with, please share my GoFundMe or donate to it. It would go a long way to helping me and me fund this channel for the next 8 months. Things are getting tight, and I may need a little extra help. $5, $2, even $1 would go a long way to assisting me in the next 8 months with my channel. Thank you very much, and let's talk about this amazing action figure. And he is a good one. Wow. Other than looseness in some of the joints, that is my biggest negative with this guy. Straight up, biggest negative is there's some looseness in some of his joints. Everything else about him is exactly what it's more than what you would expect. Number one thing about him, nowhere on his body except on his feet, on the underside of his feet, is there negative space. There's no negative space in the legs. There's no negative space in the arms. There's no negative space in the body. There's no negative space in the backpack. There's no negative space. They managed to utilize almost every single square centimeter of this thing and figured out a way to cover it all up. And the hands are an oldie but a goodie. You just pull up this panel and rotate the hand back in. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It works every time. And, don't go reinventing the wheel. That's a good way to hide hands. Also, that's an amazing way to ensure that there's no negative zone visible in the hand. You got a little panel that folds up, fold the hand in. I also appreciate that this guy's hands are jointed. You know how many of our Transformers have had jointed hands? Let's see. Every Earthrise copy of Optimus Prime, the Voyager class Hot Rod, the Commander class Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime, and Titan class Scorponok, and Titan class Omega Supreme, and Titan class Arc. And I think that's it. Let me know if I'm getting something wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's all the hands that open and shut. Like not G.I. Joe. Transformers here is not, Transformers Generations is not known for having, closable, articulated hands. So that's a big plus on this guy. Articulated hands. And they did it the Optimus Prime, the Earthrise Optimus way of doing the articulated hand, but setting the thumb up in such a way that it can hold things. So it doesn't really matter if the hand's open or shut. He can still, let's say, grab his little pistol here. It's really thin pistol, but it's kind of neat. It's going to help out with the fact that all these weapons are supposed to combine together. So let's see. Is it going to work like that I just said? Or is this not the case with this guy? Nope, totally is the case with him. The thumb and palm are actually the 5mm port, and the rest of the hand can just stay open or shut. Doesn't matter. So that's just a little FYI. And let's talk more about some of this figure. Detail-wise, sculpting-wise, he is a mecha monster. Like you've got these circles for his upper arms, like, they're column tube things. His forearms are squarish and blockish and heavily armored. There's even a siege port there, and his shoulders are actually uh, jets, like because he's some sort of Harrier jet thing that has jets on the bottom, and he can like jump up. So either side of these are those little jets, which means he's full Vernia. Like he can fly up because he's got some jets on his back. And we'll talk about them in a second. But also these on the side allow him to, spin that way or spin that way. And if he kicks a leg out in the same direction, then he can just go. He can just strafe. Uh, this guy in spatial or aerial combat would probably be hell to deal with. Um, let's finish up with the upper body and the molding. So we've got the shoulders are just heavy slabs of armor. You got some vents in there. It's pretty good. And then his head, it's on kind of a floppy joint, but his head sculpt is really gnarly. It is a really cool head sculpt. You can feel in there. He's got he just is that like a maniacal grin or something on his face? I don't know. Maybe it's a scowl, but I like his head sculpt. It's cool. Um, that's his. I think that's his nose there, and yeah. All right. Good head sculpt. And beside his head, we've got these grenade launcher things or missile pods that are just sitting up right by his head. And I absolutely love how this works in transformation. It just kind of slips in. It's cool. And I like that it pops out. I wasn't expecting that. And then we come here to the front where we got the canopy for this jet mode that folds down to create the majority of his chest. And then, yeah, and everything here on his chest is sculpted very well. I love the sculpt work of this canopy. And yeah, it's a really cool figure. I really like it. And just so you guys know, I didn't know what this guy looked like. I've never seen a picture of Jhiaxus, or if I have, I've forgotten it. I didn't follow the G2 comics. I didn't follow any of the series where Jhiaxus showed up. I didn't follow the IDW stuff. Honestly, me and Transformers kind of went away for a while, and so this is the first Transformer I've owned that I've never actually seen an image of before. So I've got nothing to go on this guy, and it's actually been a lot of fun. I'm like, who is this guy, and what does he look like? All right. Lure getting down here to the thighs, and he's got some nice round thighs, and there's no negative zone there, and it's really well sculpted. It's pretty cool. We come to his legs, and his legs are probably some of my favorite parts. Other than the looseness on one of the knee joints, these legs are really fun. We get some cool armor components coming down the front, and both sides. And this is going to be the underside of or the top side of the jet, so you get some aerial components and intakes for cooling, air intakes. And then we come down to his feet, and his feet's got ankle rocker, side to side motion, and because of transformation, it can move up and back and forth slightly. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, the hands do spin 360 degrees. This guy can wield swords pretty well. I wish they had done that with Grimlock, but whatever. And we're going to come to this guy's really most unique thing. He's like Mercury or Ares, not Ares, the messenger god. I know him by Mercury. I'm forgetting his Grecian name. Anyway, he's got little wings on his ankles, little bitty bat wings. They could just flap while he's going. I just think that's funny. I honestly don't know what's up with these little bat wings on it, but he's totally 90s. So like he's 90s. So apparently, according to my friends, he's highly colorful, and then he's got bat wings. And I'm like, of course, that's the ultimate 90s. Somebody in the CEO department went, wait a minute, he's really colorful. How do we know him to be a bad guy? Put bat wings on him. Kids like bat wings, right? Bat wings mean bad things, so put bat wings on it. Like a demon. Yeah. He acts like a demon, right? No, he's pretty good to sub. He's got to act like a demon if he's got demon wings. Make it happen. Make it so. So that's my thought on what happened in the CEO room there. And we're going to come back to his back of his legs. He's got these really cool jets. they got these cool ear intakes on the back. That's really neat. I like that feel. That's a really cool texture. And yeah, finally, let's talk about the siege ports. And siege port wise, he's not doing bad. He's got one in each foot, and then he's got one on each leg, one on the sides of each leg, and pretty sure he doesn't have one hiding amongst the sculpt work on the front. Nope. And then so that's four, and then he's got six on each arm, the normal six, so that makes it 10, and then he's got one on his back to even out to be 11. And I am pretty sure that is all the siege ports he is granted with, 11. But 11 is not a bad number of siege ports. Not at all. Not at all, good sir. And the fact that you have cool weapons on the sides. Anyway, articulation wise, the knees pull more than a 90, and a lot more, like 120. And the shoulders do not go up that far, mainly because of his cool rocket things on his that come out of one side of him. So his shoulder doesn't pull a 90; it pulls like an 85 on his right side. On his left side, it does pull a bit more, but not much more. You're getting a so I guess this wouldn't be considered like a 75, and this wouldn't be considered like an 85. The elbows each pull more than a 90. I'd give it a degree wise of 145, and no, not 145, 120. Yeah, 120 sounds about right for that. Yeah, guys, I recommend this guy. He's pretty cool. He should be appearing in store shelf soon. He surprised the crap out of me when he arrived at my doorstep. But this one was specifically made for, for the channel. We got to get this going. So tune in next time. Well, I'll teach you on the Blindformers episode how to transform it verbally, of course, so that the blind can listen along. And then after that, we'll do another More Than Meets the Eye episode where I'll discuss this guy's jet mode in depth and what I think about it and how it feels. Thank you for watching, and please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my GoFundMe. Thank you very much.